This is Mission Control Houston. You're continuing to take a look at particles leaking from the Soyuz MS-22 spacecraft docked to the Roscosmos module of the International Space Station. This leak was first observed about 2 hours and 45 minutes ago, around 6:45 p.m. Central Time, at the time at which Sergey Prokopyev and Dmitri Petelin were preparing to begin a spacewalk to move outside of the Poisk airlock of the station, a spacewalk designed to move a radiator from the Roscosmos module to the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module. This leak or stream of particles from the area of the instrumentation and propulsion module was associated with a drop in pressure in the cooling loop of the Soyuz MS-22. It is not known what the source of the leak is. Russian specialists are in the process of evaluating data, taking a careful look at video that is being sent to them from here in Mission Control, while we stand by and wait for further word. In the meantime, Prokopyev and Petelin safely back inside the International Space Station. They were never in any danger in the airlock, in the Poisk airlock of the station, preparing for their spacewalk. They're now out of their Orlan spacesuits, awaiting further word on what the next course of action will be. This is the Soyuz vehicle that was launched back in September to carry Prokopyev, the Soyuz commander, and now Expedition 68 commander, Petelin, and NASA's Frank Rubio to the station, launching from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan.
Station space to ground 1 for Dmitri. Go ahead on space to ground 2.
Антон, ну 421, вот я открыл, да, я так понимаю.
I opened 421. And so I'm supposed to do through the activation and the pressure sensors test. So steps 2, 4, and 6 to 11 have to be completed.
Принято. 2, 4, 6 по 11.
Copy that. Steps 2, 4, and 6 through 11.
Dmitri, и ДСД ставим 690.
And Dmitri, the pressure sensors should be in at 690.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, it has been just about 3 hours now since we first observed what you're seeing on the screen, that being a leak of particles, presumably from a cooling loop on the Soyuz MS-22 at the Roscosmos module of the International Space Station that forced a cancellation of tonight's spacewalk by Sergey Prokopyev and Dmitri Petelin. The leak of the fluid that you're seeing in the form of snowflake-like particles, apparently coming from a cooling loop on the Soyuz. Not clear at this point from the Russian specialists as to what impact, if any, this might have on the performance or the integrity of the Soyuz spacecraft. The two spacewalkers for tonight, Sergey Prokopyev and Dmitri Petelin, who along with Frank Rubio of NASA launched on this Soyuz vehicle back in September from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan. Prokopyev and Petelin were suited up inside the Poisk airlock on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the station. And they were depressurizing the Poisk airlock down to vacuum to begin a spacewalk to move a radiator, along with the assistance of Anna Kikina, the European robotic arm operator, inside the Russian segment of the station. That radiator was to have moved from the Roscosmos module to the Naoka multipurpose laboratory module. The Russian managers met at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow and determined that tonight's spacewalk would have to be canceled. That word was radioed up to the two spacewalkers and the rest of the crew on board the station. And with the cancellation of the spacewalk, the Poisk airlock was repressurized. Prokopyev and Petelin climbed out of their Orlan spacesuits. They're back inside the station. All of the Expedition 68 crew members were never in any danger during the course of tonight's activity.